Update. My wife wrote that she fantasies about raping me. My other account's post got removed because it wasn't a throwaway account. Older username. IDK anymore 282. Here is the old post if you haven't seen it. My wife, 30F, and I, 26M, have been together for 7 years now and have recently just gotten married. We met in college and have been with each other since. She's been very introverted ever since I've met her and doesn't socialize with anybody besides her family, and so I felt suspicious when I would see her constantly typing away on her phone. I thought she was cheating, so I checked on her phone. I know it was wrong, but I had to know. She thankfully wasn't being unfaithful, but what I found was disturbing nevertheless. She had written a note page of her fantasies of what she wanted to do with me. She wrote about her fantasy of forcing herself on me to make sure I knew who I belonged to and how she would secretly record me when I was younger, etc. She's never shown this side to me, and she's usually this sweet and loving person. I don't know if I should address this or should I just let it go. I'm not going to leave my wife over this, but I'm confused on what to do now. Dr. My wife and I have just recently gotten married. I found out my wife's fantasies about her raping me after I checked on her phone secretly because I thought she was cheating. Edit. Sorry if there's any grammatical mistakes. I'm typing this on my old iPhone 4 so my wife doesn't see this. Edit. The recording part is not part of her fantasy. Apologies for wording it out so weird. She mentioned vaguely of the time she recorded me. IDK if she ever recorded us having sex. Update. My wife and I have spoken about the situation. I brought it up after I took her to her favorite spot, aka the park. I have apologized about going through her phone without her permission. She was very understanding and didn't mind because I let her use my phone on a daily basis. Now onto the fantasy, kink thing. At first my wife was very hesitant to speak about it, but after hours of talking, she finally felt comfortable to tell me about it. In the future, we will work on it. I didn't understand it in the beginning, but I'm going to be open-minded about it to make my wife happy. Finally, about the recording situation. My wife felt the most embarrassed about this and admitted to recording without my consent. I will not go into full detail of the footage, but she has now deleted them. Thank you to all who posted their replies on my previous post. I know that people were saying to leave her, but I've been with this woman for 7 years and I'm not going to throw it all away over a misunderstanding. We have promised to be 100% transparent with each other from now on. We are now eating ice cream lol. Weight of my shoulders, talk to your partners folks. Peace. Too long did not read. My wife and I have come to terms. I've apologized about looking at her phone without permission and have decided to be more open-minded about her fantasy, kink. She has admitted to recording without my consent but has now deleted the footage. She will seek therapy in the future. We are now being more transparent with each other and are currently eating ice cream. Edit. She will be seeking therapy regarding the recording situation. Sorry, I've accidentally deleted it. When she's recorded you without your consent, that's not a misunderstanding, dude. Whatever she filmed, it clearly wasn't fully innocent. And she's still fixated on it and writing notes about it. Look, if you have worked it out and you're comfortable staying with her after that, fine, but don't hinge your decision on the past and how long you've been together. Your decision has to be made on that this is a person you see yourself having a good and happy future with. If that's the case, and, again, you can get past the stuff you learned in those notes, okay, but your argument for staying shouldn't be, we've been together X time. No matter how much time you've spent on a bad investment, continuing to invest is not the right answer. People need to get off OP's back for not giving enough details, and being okay with the recording thing. This is an update. He's not asking for advice anymore and we don't know what they talked about, so chill. His life, his relationship, his choice. Now onto the fantasy, kink thing. At first my wife was very hesitant to speak about it, but after hours of talking, she finally felt comfortable to tell me about it. In the future, we will work on it. I didn't understand it in the beginning, but I'm going to be open-minded about it to make my wife happy. Too vague. More detail is needed. Finally, about the recording situation. My wife felt the most embarrassed about this and admitted to recording without my consent. I will not go into full detail of the footage, but she has now deleted them. Why are you okay with this? How do you know she won't do it again? Recording without consent is so weird and I wouldn't accept it, but hey people, it is totally OP's decision. If he's happy, then fine. The same thing happened to one of my friends where her boyfriend recorded her without consent, and they fought but didn't break up. Now the girl's completely lost interest in him though. Seems like it's only the guy who tries for the relationship and the girl's simply mad, ignorant towards him. So it happens, some people forgive being recorded without consent. I wouldn't, but it's OP's decision. So basically she wrote in a diary that she has a dome kink that she didn't yet feel comfortable talking with you about. This sounds less like rape and more like when a dude growls, "Whose ass is this?" during sex. The recording without consent is pretty fucked up. But I understand discussing this sort of thing with your younger partner might not be the easiest thing, but you love them and are sexually attracted to only them, so clearly you might mix those two things in the mind. But it got a little out of control for her emo. I feel like a good cross-section of the commenters I'm reading have never been in a relationship. Kinda sad that they would try to give advice on one. Dude, fuck these single-ass people who don't understand that relationships are between humans and people make mistakes. Good on you for having the patience and care to initiate a conversation and you both being able to work it out. Glad to hear. Folded hands, medium light skin tone. Is it fair to ask my partner for a little rent? Hi, I want to start by saying I haven't asked my partner this question yet. I just want to be sure that I am not an asshole when I do. I will preface this with some context. I bought my first property in 2020. I am the sole owner and pay the mortgage, ground rent and council tax. My partner and I have lived together in my 1.5 years. When we first moved in I paid for everything because she was too unwell to work and I wanted to support her enough that me paying for her expenses seemed fair enough given her situation, plus I could just about afford it. Since then my partner has started working part-time and receives disability benefits as well as universal credit, and so we agreed it was fair for her to start paying for her half of the utilities. £65. The washer-dryer within the flat broke the other day and she said, "Well, it's not for me to help pay to fix it, it's your flat," which didn't sit right with me as she uses it too, so it didn't seem fair. This essentially renders me her rentless landlord, as I have landlord-type responsibilities, pay for anything broken, upgrades to the property etc. Which she's voiced she shouldn't pay for, and cater for her in the flat whilst she pays for none of it. Would it be fair to ask for rent? Only something like £100,200 for me to squirrel into a shared pot, which I'd contribute to also, to do things like improve the flat or repair the things that are broken, ugly. For clarity, I pay roughly £1,300 PCM Inc. Utilities. I want to make clear I do not want to profit off of my partner, nor do I want to take the piss. I just think it's unfair that she's paying £70 a month to live in the same home as me, enjoys the same benefits of a tenant, and I accept all of the risk for anything that breaks, changes whilst she lives here. Too long did not read. Girlfriend lives rent-free with what are essentially tenancy rights whilst I accept the financial risk for her tenancy. Is it fair to charge rent, without profit in mind? The fact that you housed her for over a year yet she feels no obligation to help with a broken appliance shows her level of entitlement. She isn't willing to do a fraction of what you did for her. If I were you I would be rethinking this entire arrangement. Asking for rent is perfectly reasonable, she isn't your dependent or your responsibility. And if she is unwilling to do that, then ask yourself if that's the type of woman you want as a long-term partner. How much was she paying for rent before she moved in with you? Who pays for consumables that are not utilities, such as groceries? If you ask your partner for help, then they should help. If she don't, she's not really a partner, is she? Maybe don't call it rent, call it joint expenses. Show her the numbers of what you're spending per month on everything from the mortgage, to the household upgrades, to all of the utilities, and groceries if that's something you pay for too. Add it up and ask for her to pay a percentage of it. Anything up to 50% is fair. Or maybe, work out an arrangement where she isn't paying the mortgage. I understand why this is tricky because she won't own it in the end, but pays for all of the utilities, groceries, and half of the home upgrades. This way, she's living under your roof rent-free, and only covers the monthly costs of living in the home instead. This way you also have help towards things like appliances and renovations, that you both agree to, since she benefits from that too. Your mistake was letting her move in without talking about this first. Yes, she is an adult and should be paying her fair share to help with the bills. But since you let her move in for free for a while, and adding her clear attitude that she doesn't want to help, you're not going to convince her to start paying. I dunno man, she doesn't sound like much of a partner. More of a parasite, who uses you for a one-way relationship. My advice is tell her she needs to be paying half all bills, including wear and tear type stuff like the dryer, since she's been there long enough for that to be on her. If she says no, then you gotta kick her out, which will likely end the relationship. But stop letting her leech off you. Yes, it is fair. I don't understand why any adult assumes they can just live rent, payment-free, in any situation. She's definitely not going to like it, and you might lose her for it, but you have the right to ask. It isn't just about money, it is about fairness. She's putting you in a parent role that you didn't seemingly ask for. That'll reduce your love over time and make you super resentful. Yes, it's fair enough, particularly if her attitude towards things is to behave like a tenant. You know you're being used, don't you? My boyfriend is seeing this girl at work every single day and it's getting suspicious. F21. Want to say that I fully trust my boyfriend and know he wouldn't cheat on me. He is a very loyal person, but my stomach has been in a knot ever since. So a few weeks ago, my boyfriend, M19, mentions that he met a girl, F18, at his work. He works in a cafe, and that she is quite cool and they talked a lot. He has a lot of regulars coming to where he works, and since he works Monday to Friday, it's easy for him to form relationships with his customers. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago when he tells me that she told him that ever since she started going to the cafe and seeing him, she's laughed every day. I tell him I think that's weird and we have a fight over it. Then 2 days ago, after he was not at work for a week due to COVID, we are supposed to meet to see a movie and he comes late and apologizes that he had a lot of people at work and had to close after hours. He is wearing a different hat than he usually does, and I ask him and he says that the hat belongs to the girl and that she needed to borrow his, so they switched it and then forgot about it. He also says they discovered they went to camp together when they were 13 but didn't remember. We have a fight again, and I tell him that I'll try to be friendly to her because sometimes my jealousy stems from not knowing the girls he hangs out with. Usually I love them after I meet them. Yesterday I met her, and while she was really friendly to me and we actually kinda hit it off, she is acting suspicious as hell. I should mention she has a boyfriend, but she told me that she is unhappy with the way he acts sometimes and doesn't know if it will last. She tells me the moment we're alone that she had a crush on my boyfriend when they were at summer camp. She also says how much she missed him so much and that her dog missed him and how he gives her free coffee and cigarettes. Then she proceeds to say that she wants to do modeling when he says he used to model, and she shows her pictures where she is nude to me. Boyfriend is cleaning up while she does that. And she starts talking about how embarrassing it was to have her nipples shown and mentions it at least twice. My boyfriend doesn't seem too interested and doesn't look at the pictures. She also says how they stayed so late yesterday. The day we were seeing the movie and he came late. In that moment I am Lyle, what the fuck? And he explains to me that she was there but so were the other regulars and they were buying things. Why wouldn't he be clear about that though? All of this including the way she interacts with him and teases him and gets physical, like the fact that she slaps his ass and stuff. It's just so fucking weird. He is planning on moving close to where he works, which is also where she lives, and I suffer from extreme anxiety and it really bothers me. I told him that I think she is flirting with him and he said that she isn't and that she has a boyfriend and that it's natural she missed him so much since she sees him every day. This makes no sense to me. They've known each other for barely 2 months. He also says he is just happy he has a friend. He left his old friend group because he wanted to stop drinking and all they did was drink. And now he doesn't really have many friends. We've had the fight so many times I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like it'll just make him angry if I say something. I couldn't sleep yesterday from all the anxiety. I kept thinking about it and feeling sick. What do I do now? I can't tell him he can't see her when she is his only friend he sees regularly and he has done nothing wrong. Too long did not read. A girl with a boyfriend has been coming to my boyfriend's work every day. He is there and acts extremely suspicious and dependent on him even though they've known each other for 2 months. I've expressed my concerns to him and he doesn't see it as flirting. I am at a loss at what to do now. She does what to his ass? Excuse me? That is crossing a line. Yep, she likes him and probably wants him. I dislike it so much when people use this line. He said that she isn't and that she has a boyfriend. Having a boyfriend or girlfriend is irrelevant for some people. They'll flirt with others anyway. That's how cheating occurs. He is just happy he has a friend. The last time my ex used that she cheated on me with that friend, and is now in a relationship with this friend. As per my personal experience. Follow your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. She probably does like your boyfriend. Her slapping his ass is completely inappropriate for many different reasons. Does she do it in front of you? I don't want to tell you what to do, but I wouldn't be comfortable with that in all honest. I would definitely bring it up again. Especially since she's bringing up her unhappy she is in her relationship and how she had a crush on your boyfriend. Mad weird. Oh hell no. I don't think he should be in contact with her anymore. Her behavior is unacceptable. I fully trust my boyfriend and know he wouldn't cheat on me, the motto of all relationship subs on Reddit. But my stomach has been in a knot ever since. Trust your gut. Good luck. God knows I wouldn't just have been sitting there and watching her smacking his ass. I would have called her out right there. Also, no one is mentioning her showing him her nudes? She tries to act like it's about modeling one, but it's crystal clear she is trying to get his attention. You are a patient woman, op. Your boyfriend might say it's all friendly, but deep down he knows she likes him and he's enjoying it. He might never do anything with her, but letting this go on when you showed you concern is not okay. Stay strong. Is my fiancé gaslighting me? I, F26, have been with my fiancé, M30, for 7 years now, engaged for the last 4. I feel like I've been naive to everything, and I'm finally opening my eyes? But I can't tell if I'm being overdramatic. I'm just going to get straight into it. I'm a pretty forgetful person. I have a medical issue that causes me to have brain fog and not always remember things. However, after a row the other night, I'm starting to think he's using this to his advantage? If things go missing in our house, it's instantly my fault. I'm blamed for moving things and putting them somewhere else. I've supposedly had conversations with him and said things that I don't remember. I swear he's twisting how the conversations went just so it fits what he's saying. Weekly issues that we have are that we use the Alexa as a shopping list. I order the shopping, it's something that I've always done. I always check the list and tick it off as I order it. Every week he will tell me I've forgot to order something for him, even though he put it on the list. No evidence of it ever being there, or he told me he needed it, no recollection of him telling me he needed it. So, for the last 7 years I've always put it down to memory issues, because he would always tell me how shit my memory is. However, the other night I opened the cupboard where we keep the mugs. One fell out and smashed everywhere. He told me it was my own fault for overstacking the mugs and glasses. However, I know for a fact I had used that mug earlier in the day and left it on the side to be washed up. He washed the dishes that day, including the mug, and put them away. When I challenged him on this, he got aggressive and told me he hadn't washed the mug up and it was me that put it away. Probably the stupidest reason to have a row, but I was damn certain it wasn't my fault. I'm starting to get sick of accusations of moving things around the house when I'm pretty sure he's just misplaced them. Edit. Wow. I was not expecting this kind of response or help. I really appreciate your comments. It's kind of nice to know I'm not going insane or being overreactivate. Going through all the comments has made me realize a few things, and I hope that you don't mind me sharing them with you, because I now feel that something is seriously wrong. So, he struggles with empathy. Not just with me but with everyone. He doesn't understand why people get upset, so if I get upset over something he just says I'm being over-emotional. We moved in together after 3 months. This was not our original plan. A situation came up where he was basically going to be made homeless, not his fault. Anyhow, since then, we have only ever spent one night apart from each other. This was due to the fact I needed go work away. He made such a big deal out of this. He's told me he doesn't want me having a job where I'll be working away from home. A few years ago, I was out with a few friends. I bumped into an old male friend at a club. We got talking. He brought me a drink. Nothing sexual between us at all. And he danced with me, my girlfriend, in a group. Well, he found out about this and basically told me it's not acceptable and will constantly bring it up. If I do go out, he tells me that if I ever cheat he will know about it because he has people everywhere. On the weekends I like to spend time with my sister as we're very close. Sometimes on a Friday night my sister will ring me to see if I want to go shopping with her and the kids in the morning. I now always have to check with my partner to make sure we haven't already made plans, because there's been multiple occasions where apparently I've made plans with him and I've forgot about them and ditching him for my sister. And now I'm writing this all out, I realize that there's something seriously wrong with this relationship. Write everything down. It sounds like he is using your fogginess to his advantage. Write things down as they happen. You can't use it to prove to him he's wrong, he'll just gaslight you, but you can use it to keep yourself on track. Things like grocery lists, etc., should be in writing anyway. There is no confusion if you can pull up a list and say, see, it was never here. Your gut is saying that things aren't making sense. The mugs. We all have ways we would naturally load something. If it feels off, then you know. You sure he's not using your memory to his advantage? Frequency to avoid accountability? How can you ensure accountability when you don't know? Have you considered a paper list on the fridge? Harder to fake and obviously modify. Because you both have written on it. Trust your gut. This does truly sound like gaslighting. Please tell me your name is Paula and you have an aunt that died and some fabulous jewels have gone missing. And you have a closed-off attic. Yes, he is gaslighting you. And there's no reason for him to get aggressive even if it was your fault the mug broke. Please get out. Dump this cockwomble. He's a manipulating little prick. This sounds like a serious situation. I would recommend getting help from a friend or a professional. Keep making lots of notes and keep the notes private. Is he controlling in any way? Does he assert his opinion over yours as fact in other ways? Does he make you dependent on him in other ways like finances or isolating you from friends and family out of concern for you? Does he take accountability for his mistakes when he's wrong, or does he have a problem with being wrong? Your answers to these might give you some insight as to whether you're experiencing gaslighting and abuse or you two both have memory problems and are crap at communicating. I'm betting it's the former since you're being so dismissive of your own memory. I have an issue with how he is dealing with you forgetting things. Even if you are forgetting them, I am not saying you are, I am just supposing. If you did forget something, then he can just go pick it up himself. If you forget all the time, then he can do the shopping instead. I don't like that he is making it seem like you can't do anything right when you are obviously trying. Same with the mug. So what if you broke a mug? Big deal. It was an accident. I don't see why anyone has to take the blame. I guess I am saying that overall, your dude sounds like an overly critical jerk.